and its inauguration. Remember, the inauguration event of the new Parliament building is scheduled to take place on May 28th. So that's next Sunday. And in line and in preparation of that, of course, we know that an entire ceremony is planned. The Prime Minister is going to be inaugurating the parliamentary building. Now, there has been some politics around it, with Rahul Gandhi saying in a set of comments that the President should inaugurate the new parliamentary house, not the Prime Minister. Remember, this is a triangular-shaped four-story building that is set to be inaugurated next Sunday. But the Congress has called the Parliament building in the past to the Prime Minister's vanity project. So this is not the first set of comments we're seeing around this parliamentary building. You've also had, for example, the AIMIM leader, Saaduddin Owaisi, saying why the Lok Sabha Speaker and the Rajya Sabha Chairman aren't inaugurating it. So you've had a similar question asked by him. Why, in particular, is the Prime Minister inaugurating this building? Now, my colleague Pallavi Ghosh is with us to bring us more context. Pallavi, two questions for you. A, can you tell us more about the set of comments aimed at the Prime Minister from Rahul Gandhi? And B, then can you tell us, has the BJP put forth a formal explanation as to why the Prime Minister is doing this in the past?
Well, I mean, to answer the first question first, this is what Rahul Gandhi is saying. Is also some other Congress leaders have also said, and opposition also, that the head of the government, or the head of the state rather, since the joint sessions are always held by the President, and the President is considered to be the head of the Parliament in that sense, why is it that the President is not inaugurating a new Parliament building? Why is it that the Prime Minister is doing so? According to a Congress, it's just a vanity step, really, because the Prime Minister wants to claim credit for everything. So that's the criticism which is coming in from the Congress. We've been seeing them saying over the last couple of days the needless expenditure, and even if it was required, why is it that the Prime Minister is claiming that kind of credit for it? But as far as the government and the BJP is concerned, they point out that since he's the head of the legislature, executive, he has every right to actually go ahead and inaugurate the new Parliament building. The fact is that the President, of course, addresses the joint session. And according to the BJP, this is a needless criticism coming in, because the Congress too, when it was in power, had acknowledged the need for a new Parliament building.
Can you also tell us, Pallavi, in the past, when you have had buildings of this nature inaugurated, of course, the Parliament building is a new chapter that is perhaps not comparable, but still I do want to understand, in such ceremonial proceedings, what is the usual procedure? Is the Congress fair in raising this claim?
So, I mean, I don't know what other buildings we talk about, but I mean, normally the tendency is that, if suppose it's something which has been announced by the government, then the government usually says a minister concerned, or in this case, the Prime Minister concerned, are the ones who are inaugurating it. I think the Congress is going step by step in its criticism of the Prime Minister inaugurating it on 28th. One, of course, was it really required? Was a new Parliament building really required? Second, an apprehension among the opposition parties that a new Parliament building is structured in such a manner that it is actually going to keep not just the media out, but also there would be kind of restrictions on the movement or the freedom of speech, really, so to say, as far as opposition leaders are concerned. And third, of course, now that, ideal situation is the President, because he is the head of the nation, he is the one who should actually inaugurate the new Parliament building, because, the new Parliament building, or Parliament rather, symbolizes the democracy.
Okay. And Pallavi, could you also tell us now about more voices from the opposition? I believe the AIMIM has also made a similar comment. Apart from them, have we had other opposition leaders say similar?
Most of them, even the Trinamool Congress came out with a statement, and this is an exercise in vanity. And the Prime Minister and the government wants to take credit. And when you open the Parliament, the same thing is going to happen. They don't respect parliamentary democracy, but they want to open a new Parliament building. So whether it is the Trinamool Congress, whether it's the Congress Party, the AIMIM, most opposition political parties have objected to, one, a need for a new Parliament building, and second, the way parliamentary democracy is being run, and third, of course, the fact that the Prime Minister is going to take credit for it.
Okay, and one last question for you, Pallavi. Though we know that the Prime Minister is doing the inauguration itself, is the President at all going to be present in any of the ceremonial proceedings, or not at all?
Well, I mean, no clarity on that. But when the Speaker announced that the Prime Minister is going to be inaugurating, so we are presuming that the President is most probably not likely to be there. Yeah, the Bhumi Pujan has already been done, as you remember, in December 2020.
Correct.
This is just a mere inauguration, because the Prime Minister also had visited the new parliament building when the work was in progress.
Okay, thank you so much, Pallavi, for bringing us that context. Let's go on now. Our last story actually connects to the story we were discussing right before this, comments that had come forward from the PDP's Mehbooba Mufti. As you already know, the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir is gearing up for the upcoming G20